Welcome back to another edition of All Out NRL Fantasy Podcast. Boys, fantasy's over. For many, I'd say thankfully, as we've been kicked out of finals and so. How are we?
Good, brother. I'm not too bad considering, Broncos season's over, but we will touch on that later.
Yeah.
But
Many might be asking, fantasy's over. Why are you still doing a podcast? Footy remains. Finals is still on, and we're going to give you some hot takes.
100%. Some good games this weekend, Mick. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Got any input, Macca?
I was just going to bring up the fact that none of our teams have made it through to the 8. St. George Dragons, absolutely woeful.
Disgusting.
Couldn't beat the Eels to make it.
Let's just not even talk about them.
And then that put actually the Broncos on a platter to make it through, but they also just laid a goose egg.
Yeah.
So
I do think
not
finals are going to be very entertaining this year, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a Storm Penrith grand final again.
I think so, brother. You gotta think how those teams have performed thus far this season. They're definitely the top two sides. Cleary back as well. Where are we going to be watching it, boys?
Normanby, of course, in Brisbane. I don't think there's any other option, really.
no, I can't think of one.
I know they're doing a $99 drinks package and food for 3 hours. I mean, you're basically making money at that point.
Very special.
Tap beer, all your house wines. The feeds, I've heard pizzas, sliders, bower buns.
Just the classics, miscellaneous finger food.
Yeah, so if you're in Brisbane, want a good place to watch the grand final, head to the Normanby. Great spot near Caxton Street. And any listeners, if you in your booking notes, if you're keen on that, mention All Out
mention
NRL
us.
Fantasy, and I think Normanby, the people at Normanby are
Feel free
generous
to-
enough to give out beer merchandise. So
Yeah, I was
Go
going
ahead
to
and do
say
that.
as well, just tag us as well on Instagram and whatnot. Tag us and the Normanby on the socials, and we can share that as well. So,
definitely.
yeah, should we get to the footy, boys?
Back to the footy.
100%.
Preview
Yes.
each game. First game, Dor, Penrith Roosters.
Probably the
Oh.
probably the best game of the 4, I reckon.
It is disappointing, obviously. Maybe 3 weeks ago, I think those odds would have been very similar.
Indeed.
I think Roosters are now at 260, something like that.
Sam Walker being out, I think.
All right, let me cook.
Affects it.
Okay, we've got Panthers versus the Roosters. Like you said, Mick, that's the first game to kick us off for finals week 1. Friday, 7 p.m. or 7:50 p.m. should I say, at Penrith Bluebet Stadium. Panthers are $1.40 and Roosters are $2.98, like you said. Some stats for this game is the Panthers have won their last 9 games against the Roosters. The Roosters haven't won at Bluebet Stadium since 2018. The Panthers are aiming to equal the premiership record of 10 consecutive finals victories. Roosters captain James Tedesco has never won at Bluebet Stadium, and Panthers lock Isaiah Yeo will equal Stephen Carter's club appearance record of 243 games for the Panthers. Let's get into the teams quickly, and then I'll get you guys points.
Takes.
Look, I'm not going to go through it all the whole team list, but basically the Panthers have got the big inclusion of Nathan Cleary back this week in the halves. I'm sure the Roosters are really going to test out that shoulder this weekend. And then for the Roosters, they welcome back Lindsay Collins, who was rested last week, Dom Young as well. Sandon Smith keeps the halfback jersey, obviously, after the injury to Sam Walker a few weeks ago. Nat Butcher's back at lock, and then Sua Wong and Nafu White come onto the bench. So what are we thinking, boys? What are our thoughts here with this game?
Penrith win, simply, but I think Roosters shouldn't be underestimated. I think sometimes when you have big injuries like that, you tend to lift, and they obviously have a lot of gun power. So
Sandon Smith's not a bad player.
No, he's not at all.
In my
and
opinion.
Cleary can be targeted. Like he's played injured before and obviously still been elite. But I think Luai has to step up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Even though Cleary's back, which obviously is massive, Penrith against the Titans looked absolutely shocking.
They did.
Jerome Law, who had been playing well, was pretty insipid. So I think the Roosters have a genuine chance to win, although I think Penrith in a close one, 1-12.
Yeah, I was going to say all the stats against the Roosters.
Well, they haven't won.
What I've got.
Roosters haven't beat Penrith in, 9 games?
Yeah. Oh, it's just it's diabolical reading for Roosters.
Penrith have
Roosters
also.
fan.
When's the last time they lost a finals game? Was it the grand final?
Oh, I don't know exactly when it is,
I
but
think-
they're aiming for 10 in a row,
Well, there you
which
go.
is a record.
That's
So
insane.
I just think that the Roosters, if anything, the Panthers haven't really been. I know Cleary's been out the last couple of weeks, but I don't think the Panthers have been playing that good of football. Like they only just beat the Titans on the weekend in
Lost
a
the week-
very
lost the week before.
in a very scrappy affair. So to me, I think, look, the Panthers have a great record in the finals. We've discussed
Yeah.
that plenty, but I think the Roosters are a good sniff there. $2.98.
I agree. Losing Victor Radley, like
That's a big loss.
Victor Radley, no cheese. So Connor Watson's going to have to lift.
I think Radley might play next week because of if like they're saying that he wants to play.
What did he
they
do?
Might risk
He did like a Cooper Cronk scapular.
some
fractured
fractured scapula. I'm pretty sure.
Scapula.
I can't see him playing next week.
No. Well, they want him
At
to.
least
but
Cooper Cronk played that finals game. He didn't get a try assist. He didn't run any meters. He was just there
He
for
was
his leadership.
Literally
Leadership,
just
yeah.
You're not doing that with a forward.
Nah.
no. Anything else, boys? Final predictions? You going 1 to 12?
Well,
Did you say, Macca?
Look, if I was a betting man, which I am, I would not take the 140 for Penrith. I'd either take even the Roosters 1 to 12 because I think if they win, it'll obviously be close.
Yep.
Or I'd just leave it all together. But yeah, I
You
think
wouldn't go Panthers 1 to 12 or something and include a try score or something, bit
Yeah.
of bizzer action or something like
yeah,
that.
maybe Dor, maybe.
I'm just not so sure about Kiri leading the team around. I feel like
Yeah,
I know Sam Smith's good, but they're going to lack a bit of creativity from Sammy Walker. Teddy will have a good game. I'm still saying Penrith by 12.
I reckon I'm with Matt. I reckon Penrith by 8. I think the Roosters will come to play, but I think Penrith will be too good. They'll get there, break the NRL record. Is it? Yeah, for 10 consecutive.
First try scorer, I'm going to go Fisher Harris.
Fisher Harris.
Deadwoods.
Very bootleg. I'll go Nathan.
Nathan?
To score on return.
How will you run a marathon if he doesn't?
No, I'm not running a marathon if he does it. This is a bloody outlandish take. It's his first game back from injury.
What about one leg of a triathlon? Needs to try.
Yeah.
Definitely not. All right, let's move on to the next game, gents. We've got the Storm taking on the Sharks down in Melbourne.
Sharks stink.
No, geez.
Look,
well,
I actually think the Sharks are underrated, but
Mm.
Storm 13 plus.
yeah, so Storm are $1.32 favourites, and the Sharks, geez, there's a bit of meat on the bone there, boys. $3.43 on
Juicy.
Something in
Sportsbet. There is a lot there, considering it how they absolutely demolished Manly in
That is true, Dor.
Manly on the weekend. Look, to go through some of the stats, we've got the Storm have won 6 of their past 8 games against the Sharks. The Sharks have lost their past 6 finals matches.
Yeah.
The Storm have won 6 of their past 8 finals games at Amy Park. Sharks, Toby Rudolph will make his 100th NRL appearance. Congrats, Toby. And
Congrats,
then
Toby.
Storm winger Xavier Coates has scored 29 tries in 25 games at Amy Park. So on Coates, he is a big inclusion. He did return last week, but
Pappy back as well.
he had a limited stint. Yeah, Pappenhausen back at the back.
I say with all due respect, I think the Sharks should look towards next week because they'll be playing.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Anderson, he's been terrific in this period without Coates. He is 18th
Anderson?
man, Grant Anderson. Wishart's continuing to do bits from the bench. He is a special player.
Just on Wishart real quick, I think he's the most improved player this year.
You could
Is he going to another club on big money?
Well, there'll be people circling him, surely.
Oh, I
But
know.
He's so good.
A team like the Broncos, for example, imagine him.
Oh, no, the Broncos want people like RCG.
No,
They've got their big fish.
Dragons.
Yeah.
His dad is a Dragons great.
Well, he was a junior, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dragons.
that's true.
His dad's a Dragon great. The Dragons will, I'd say Ben Hunt will serve his contract out. He'll stay for next season and then leave. I don't know where he'll go, but I think
That's actually a great take, though.
Wishart to Red V, but it's whether the Storm let him go.
As a
I
Red V
think-
fan, I'm sick of hearing this, though. I'd rather
Yeah.
not.
well,
Hear us circling the players.
it's always we're going to get him, we're going to get this player.
I just think they'll get.
Bang, we got Josh Maguire.
I think they'll get rid of Jonah Pezzett. I reckon,
Pezzett,
and
yeah.
Wishart will be
Yeah,
that,
I feel like Pezzett was-
one to step in.
They got big raps on Pezzett, but he's always injured. So
Yeah,
I feel like he's one of those ones where if he goes to another club, I could see him succeeding, but I think it's better for him and the Storm.
well, Newcastle are
ways.
favourites for Pezzett, so we'll see. Anyway, Welsh is back as well on the bench. I think everything else for the Storm
Is there a reality?
Is, in order.
Is there a reality where Hines has the game of his life and they win?
I think even if Hines has a game of his life, this is the best I can remember the Storm looking since when 2020.
Yeah, they were great 2020.
They are just absolutely insane at the moment. I don't see.
And
They
you
got the
think
full
of it as
package.
well, Cam Munster's not playing the greatest of football
Pappenhausen's
this
barely
season.
played.
Jerome Hughes has been special. Oh, God, he was good on last Thursday
Like,
night.
if we think about when the Sharks beat the Storm earlier in the year,
Atco.
Nico wasn't playing. Atco was the lead half. And I love Hines as a player. I love him as a guy.
Oh, there's a lot of pressure on
It's
Nico
just
Hines.
he's going to be under so much pressure. Just all he has to prove is can they win with him?
Well, can they win a finals game, brother? Because they've lost the last 6 finals matches. So it's a big occasion for the Sharks. Just quickly before I move on to the Sharks team list, Falongo boys on the weekend on Thursday. Reason why he's probably not named in the 17 or the whole 22 is he sustained a hamstring injury and is probably going to miss a few weeks. So that's a bit of a blow to the
Jeez,
Storm.
they're deep. I completely forgot they had. I completely forgot he was a part of the team as well. Like,
Yeah.
just insane.
God, he loves a goosey.
Insane how struck they have.
Yeah, I hate how like everyone's like, oh, Penrith are so hard done by the losing all their talent. This has been happening to the Storm for 20 years.
Well, the Storm had the 3rd or 4th most injuries I was looking at before.
Yeah,
So
look, they've got it. That's at the good sides. The good sides can have got that depth there that they can afford to lose some players and still field a really good side.
Yeah, I forgot the Sharks how well they played against Manly on the weekend. They
were-
beat 40-20.
Yeah,
look, I was saying
That's
before,
what I was saying.
The Sharks are underrated, but
$3.
If they weren't-
$3.43.
if they weren't versing the Storm at
think
the
that's
peak of their
right.
powers, then maybe you'd tip them. But
Yeah,
I just can't.
bit of meat on the bone. Anyway, on to the Sharks
Hazleton,
team.
try score.
Kafusi returns from being rested from that Manly game on the weekend. So Royce Hunt goes back to the bench, and Tom Hazleton is unfortunately in doubt. He is 22nd man. He got a knee injury on the weekend and went off early. He's been included in the extended squad, but will be monitored. So, look, the Sharks, in my opinion, have a really elite forward pack. Their forward pack is special, and you think that they're adding Fanua Blake to that forward pack next season is quite special, considering that you're losing Royce Hunt. Look, a player with a bit of potential, but struggled
no
to get the
FB.
minutes. But he's no Fanua Blake.
No,
and,
he's not.
And I think a Fanua Blake, a happy Fanua Blake, we know can be very special.
An unhappy Fanua Blake's still a beast.
Yeah. So
Do we think with the Sharks? Do we think the spine they got the spine right with Trindle and Hines? I feel like we're a bit biased towards Atco because we love him.
yeah, we love Atco, but I just think
Trindle hasn't been very good this year, has he?
Trindle was good on the weekend. I'll give him credit.
the whole
I've
team
always
was,
been an Atco over Trindle type of guy, especially since like this season. You look at the wins like
I
we
think
just
both are
touched
great.
on.
I
They're
think
both
Trindle's
great.
good.
I just think the pressure's on Nico. There's no pressure on Atco or Trindle, in my opinion. The pressure is unfortunately all on Nico. He's paid the big bucks. Yeah, this is a big game. He was definitely a lot better on the weekend than
If they
he was
lose
the week
this
before.
by less than 15, I don't think that much criticism will go towards Nico. It's the week after.
Yeah, let's put in our tips here, boys. What are we
Storm
going?
by 16.
Yeah, I think Storm by 13 plus.
I actually think the Sharks
Are winning. There you go. There's Door's take. Sharks to win.
The Sharks are not winning.
Quite
I think it's the Storm will only win by 6 points, is what I'm saying. I think that the Sharks will come to play like the former Britton Nickera has been.
I'll give a
special.
Clancy Nugent take. I think the Sharks could win. There's a reality where they could win, but they won't.
Very fair, brother. Let's move on to the first elimination clash. The North Queensland Cowboys, speaking of Clancy, his men taking on the Newcastle Knights, the late game on Saturday night up at QCB Stadium. look, it is going to be a rip snorter, this one. The Cowboys are $1.43 favourites. And Newcastle, a bit of meat on the bone there as well. $2.86. Sorry, the Normanby chat and this lovely food has got the meat on the bone chat going.
got me salivating.
Reminder, go to the
I've not
Normanby.
yet, man.
Either have I. I
They got
haven't even
some,
had anything to eat today.
They got some dimmies, I think, as well.
Oh, I love dimmies.
Who doesn't love a dimmy?
Oh.
If anyone's seen the show Mr. In Between, you'll also love dimmies.
All right, let's get into some stats, boys. The Cowboys have won their past 3 games against the Knights. The Knights have not won in Townsville since 2015. The Cowboys have won 7 of their 8 finals games played in Townsville. Knights winger Fletcher Sharp has scored 8 tries in his past 5 games. He has been cooking.
He's like
So
Patrick's,
is-
doesn't
Yeah, so is this man. Kyle Felt has scored 11 tries in his past 6 games. And he went from basically nowhere near the top 5 try scorers in the last few weeks to bloody finishing second overall in the Ken Irvine medal. So
Yep.
special scenes for Felty. The Cowboys faithful will be hoping that this is not his last game. But
I
what
think
do
it will be.
you think the
Nah,
Knights are a chance?
Are we giving our takes?
That
No,
I
well,
think
we're
the
going-
Knights.
we're going-
Are you going to keep going?
Yeah, I
Or
was just
given at the end.
Yeah, let me just quickly go through the teams and then we'll ramble on. We'll have a bit of jibber jabber action.
Oh, we love yapping.
Jordan McLean returns after missing last week with a hamstring injury. So Sam McIntyre, who was very special on the weekend, just gone, reverts to the bench. McKaylee, unfortunately, is the man to drop off, and Purdue has been named 18th man. The Knights take an unchanged 17 to Townsville for this knockout clash, with Thomas Cant named as the 18th man. And English Kai Pearce-Paul is still in the extended squad like he was last week, as he looks to return from that nasty leg laceration suffered in round 25. So, boys, what are we thinking?
There was a pretty damning stat I saw the other day that the Knights have only won 1 game out of 10 against top 8 sides. So that, along with all the other stats Dor was saying, paints a pretty sorry picture.
Yeah.
I think as well, sorry,
you
Mick,
go,
I was
Dor.
going to say that I think the random stats guy, I'm going to have a look now. I'll let you speak in a second, Mick, while I just double check this. I think the Cowboys have the best record against the top 8
Yeah, they
sides.
do. They do, Dor.
They do, yeah.
In the 8. So
I can
well
confirm. I think they're like 9 out of 10 or something.
yeah, so the Cowboys this season are 7 out of 10 against the top 8
I feel
sides.
like
So they're
I
70%.
feel like they got a few wins in there during Origin when everyone was out.
The Cowboys also
Soft draw.
have a special record in New South Wales. So look, if they can get there, you never know. You never know with the Cowboys. In my opinion,
Yeah.
a
I don't
brutal-
think those odds are. I think the odds should be a bit closer.
Look,
Yeah,
reckon-
I agree.
I think if there is an upset this weekend, that will be it. But
I agree.
I disagree.
you reckon Cow's too good?
I think the Cowboys will be too good. I was just more disagreeing with the upset. I
Oh,
think
right,
I think
okay.
Manly. I think
The
Manly.
Knights have the best player
I'm
on the
giving
field.
my takeaway early. We'll wait for the next one.
The Knights have the best player on the field.
Yeah, but every other player, the next.
I
10
think
best
think
players
about
probably
that
for the
edge.
Cowboys.
Bradman and Best is back. They're both obviously attacking teams. That edge. I know Val Holmes is historically a great defender. This year he's been a bit shaky.
Oh, it's
I'm not sure if he's fixed it up the last month or so, but Bradman, Best, Ponga on that edge. I can see him torching.
The Knights' defense has actually been quite good recently as well. So maybe
Knights
they can make
have
it a
won
scrappy
3 out of
game.
the last 4. They won't enjoy the heat, but
But that being
it's all
said,
on
I
the
can
line, do or die
see
footy.
I can see them winning.
In my opinion, there's just a bit
If
too much.
you're a betting man, you get on Knights.
Yeah. Oh, I won't be getting on the
Well,
Knights.
no.
Marzu was really good on the weekend. Fletcher Sharp's been terrific.
he's been unreal.
Dylan Lucas, man, he's probably one of the most underrated players in the NRL.
great.
He can't pass, but yeah, he's
He
great.
just
Well, he
works
can't
his
pass the
backside
centre,
off.
but you know.
Yeah, in my opinion, he's just terrific, Dylan Lucas. And then, yeah, for me, if you look at the benches, I just feel like there's a bit more spark, a bit more potential
look-
in that.
look who's
Well,
back-
they're averaging 31 points a game over the last 7. The Cows.
Dor, look who's playing 14 for the Knights though.
They've
That's-
taking a gamble
yeah, taking a gamble on
on
Tyson.
Tyson
at utility.
being at utility.
All right, maybe they should
Matt-
put the odds up. For the Knights.
$4.
Yeah, for me, geez.
We joke about that, but that's generally a reason. Like, they can't figure out who their halves are.
Look, there's probably someone going to win by 13 plus, like you boys are saying, but I just can't tip it. I'm going Cowboys by 10. In saying that, though, I think Valentine Holmes hasn't missed, so I'm implying that he misses a goal and he won't break Hazem or Mazuri's record.
I feel like we need a hot take, and I'm going to have to give it Knights by 2.
Nice by 2.
Here's my hot
Oh,
take.
well,
I
I was giving a hot take next game, but
I
you
reckon
go.
Cowboys going to win by 36. I'm being dead serious.
Mate, Mike Callum is not letting that happen.
The Knights are absolutely horrendous, and one player will not make a difference. I think Cows win.
Mate,
They
that
win
edge,
very well.
Marzu, Best, and Ponga are scoring 3 tries.
Mate,
Yeah, but it's the
Knights
other
been-
edge.
the Knights
Gagai
been-
can't defend.
The Knights have been scoring all their points on the right side.
Either can Val, to be honest, like you said.
No, they'll target that side.
But yeah, a big matchup's Lukey, the back rower matchup of Lukey.
I worry about the Knights'
Lukey-
defense in that heat.
Yeah, Lukey and Nanai versus Frizzell and Lucas. It's going to be sold out crowd up at QCB Stadium.
Hopefully it's a good game.
Don't at me if the Cows win by 40.
No, well, you at Macca
yeah,
if
me
they
and
win
thank me.
40, and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
at you
yeah,
if the
yeah,
Knights win by 2.
Someone's got to give a hot
Or
take
the
here.
Knights just win. Oh, man, I'm getting there. Jeez, my hot
Well,
take's coming this game.
I think your hot take, which I assume is going to be Manly to win, isn't. I don't think that's that hot.
No, that is. That is
I was
my
gonna
hot
say
take,
Manly
but
as
it's
well.
not. I've just seen the odds, and I was just like,
They beat him 2 weeks ago.
yeah, I know. Anyway, let's move to that game. The Sunday afternoon game. Look, this game probably would have been, I think, on Saturday, but because of the GWS AFL final being in Sydney, they've bit of a scheduling nightmare, so they've moved this game to the Sunday. Look, Bulldogs taking on the Sea Eagles, 4:05 Sunday Arvo, $1.92 a piece for the odds.
That's valid
for both sides. We'll touch on a bit of the stats.
How is it an upset then?
Yeah, look, I didn't see the odds before I gave my take.
Damn.
You
Dor really
just-
thought the Dogs were him.
You're just looking at where they finished on the ladder. Look, if you're looking at how they've played the last few weeks, you'd probably say that Manly are probably the
Honestly, I
favourites.
thought Manly would have been favourites.
Yeah. I think that the reason they're not is the health of Turbo. We will touch on that in a second. So the Bulldogs have not won a finals match since 2015. The Sea Eagles have won 10 of their past 11 games against the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have won 4 of their 5 finals matches against the Sea Eagles. The Sea Eagles will actually play their 100th finals game. And Bulldogs hooker and serial yapper Reid Marnie will play his 150th NRL game, boys.
Congrats, Reid. Surprised he hasn't been knocked out by someone before then.
Oh, jeez. And look, we'll get to the team list and then we'll yap. Winger Josh Adokar. Look, I'm not going to go into the specifics and
Let's talk
everything
about
on that. He has
Let's get cancelled.
chosen to stand
Can we
himself
actually?
down.
I actually don't know what the go is there. So he got named. That happened, and then he
Well, I don't think
got found
that-
innocent, and he can play.
I think so.
Simple as that.
Has he been named?
No, he's not named at
Oh,
all.
right.
He's
Oh, he isn't?
completely pulled himself out because of what's happened.
Right.
Again, not going into it, but he's not playing this weekend. As you
Grey
said,
area.
if the Dogs win, he could be back next week. I'm
Yeah.
not exactly sure. We'll have to
they'll
see
miss
what
him.
happens. But yes, Bronson Cherry is back from suspension. Matt Burton is also back from concussion, which is the real big in my opinion. They severely missed him last week. Sorry, Drew, but you were awful. You did get hooked.
Shout out Hutcher.
Shout out Bronson Cherry. It was his birthday yesterday.
Lovely. And yeah, that's gone
Not
left
sure.
from left field.
Not sure how I know that.
What's
but
that's the opposite of a drive-by.
Yes, and
Shout out my
Gerald
boy.
Skelton, or as I called him a few years ago, Skeleton, is back.
He's very good.
back
Where's
on
he
deck.
going?
He's a great
He's
player.
going to the Tigers,
Tigers, yeah.
next year.
Fantastic buy. He's a
Yes,
beast.
yeah,
Yeah.
he is special. And Kiraz moves to the wing after playing centre last week. There was a bit of doubt. I think Kiraz went down for a little bit, but he is all
Had
good.
niggle.
And
Hutcher has been compared to Mitchell Orbison in his career. With
Jeez.
respect to
was-
Hutcher, I don't think he'll get into 320 games, man.
No. Albo is actually a good player. No
No,
disrespect.
Hutcher's good.
No, he's not.
He just
He's-
needs to
Hut-
find his role
he's-
as a
He just
14.
he really did not have a good game on the weekend. I've never seen a halfback get cut
He's
at
al-
halftime.
Apparently Hutcho coming through like in his junior
Yeah,
years
he's a
was like the
freak.
most highly
Yeah.
touted.
But he did like 2 ACLs and whatever. So.
Yeah, and good old
But
ACL.
the problem with him is
Terrible.
Orbo was good at multiple positions. Hutcho is just
Oh,
okay.
mate,
at
watching
a couple.
Orbo in centers was just like, can you just bring up a young gun?
He did a job, man. He did a job.
He played hooker one game.
That's a Roosters legend.
Taff is 18th man for the Dogs, and then with Manly, so the return of Tommy Trbojevic from his shoulder injury sees Kula revert to the centres. And look, I will have a little bit of a yap on this in a second. Tommy Talau moves back to the wing. I think it's Fulalo who scored a special try on the weekend. Aerial threat goes to 18th man. The forwards, Toafofa, Sipley and Corey Waddell are among the reserves, along with backup hooker Gordon Chan Kumtong.
Lovely pronunciation, brother.
On Tommy Talau. Look,
He- maybe he's the most improved.
I
Certainly
do
is.
not know how players keep on leaving the West Tigers and just
Getting better.
so much better. Like, look,
Yeah.
there's, I can list off so many names, but Tommy Talau, this man was a
Scrub.
scrub, a bum, a bloody like.
He was
know,
asked
he
at 9,
was
10, and
flawed
11.
He was like some player you'd get in
Flotter.
on fantasy. He was like a $220
Yeah, he was a
cheapie,
basement cheapie for 4
and
years
he'd get
straight.
you like 6 points or something like that in 80 minutes.
Dor,
This man's going out there.
That's why
and
this year when people said can't buy Tommy Talau, I said no.
Do I know exactly why? It's his relationship. He's you know, he's
Surges,
he's,
special powers.
He's
happy.
more focused.
Yeah, he's more focused. He's
He's got a positive distraction off the field.
yeah.
But potentially that could be it.
Although-
But I think it's directly on the.
Although Lomax breaks up with her and has his best season, so
It's working well for both parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They should definitely discuss
They're
that.
both winners.
Yes. But look, boys, what are we thinking on a real talk? Tommy Turbo. Look, is he going to be 100%? I do not think so. Is he going to be 75%? Oh, I'm starting
What
to.
did he do again?
AC joint in his shoulder.
Flared it up.
So
Was it
he's-
grade 2?
With the AC joint, it's more of like a pain management thing. isn't it?
Yeah, I'm feeling like this could be a. I remember when Payne Haas had it a couple of, if it was last year or the season before, they'd needle the hell out of it, and he seemed to go all right. But then I feel like it could benefit Tommy Turbo because he doesn't actually have to do that much defense, like tackling. Whereas Haas is obviously in the middle of the field on the front line making multiple tackles. I think this could really, as much as he's going to be not at 100%, I think
I think he'd be fine.
he should be okay. He's still going to have that real,
Yeah.
like,
Manly's just so inconsistent. I just can't get a gauge on when they're going to be absolutely flaring an attack or.
for me, I like the stats are saying, I know the Dogs, it's great to see him back in the finals and, with all this fanfare with the Doggies and all their supporters.
They haven't been here since 2016.
Yeah. I just think that these last few weeks have been very concerning. They
Off-field
have,
drama as well.
yeah,
This is their first finals game in what, 8 years or something?
no, so-
Maybe the moment's going to be.
We
too
know
big
they're
for them.
good defensively.
well, they
Yeah.
haven't won a finals
sc- he
match
scored
since
points.
2015. That was probably the days of Bobcat Andrew Ryan and those players running around there. So I'm concerned. Like you mentioned earlier, Mick, with what Manly did to the Bulldogs a few weeks ago, was really alarming. And then the Dogs on the weekend, and I'd just be very concerned. Look, it's not a hot take because the odds are
You reckon Manly
$1.92 a
Manly
piece.
13 plus door?
I think Manly 13 plus.
Interesting.
That loss to Tigers a few weeks ago was deplorable.
It was
I'm just
deplorable.
thinking that was a one-off. But
On the weekend was pretty bad as well, but I just, for some reason, this team is, I know it sounds awful. Reminds me of my glorious King LeBron James with the Cavs, just
Oh, right,
absolutely
yeah.
carrying
Oh,
one
my
team. For some
sunshine.
reason, this Manly side, without Tom Trbojevic, is awful, but with him is just absolutely
Yeah,
spectacular.
he's impactful. to say
Like
the
you
very
think,
least.
like that game you just mentioned, Mick. I'm going on a bit of a turbo bloody
keep-
suck
keep-
off
keep
spree
yapping,
here, but
Bill.
you think about that game that Manly lost against the Tigers, who was the best player on the field? Who was the one that was
You're right.
basically keeping in the game?
Carrying,
It was
yeah.
Tommy Turbo. If they didn't
Can
have,
he do that against the Dogs? He played a couple of weeks. How did he go against the Dogs a couple of weeks ago?
he was terrific, and then he got the injury to the shoulder, and then the knock
His head was all cut up as well.
when making that critical one-on-one
Could have been
tackle.
worse, actually, that
I think
injury.
on someone. I think it was
Looked real
Jacob
bad.
Preston who went straight through, and Turbo made the tackle. I
So,
thought he was terrific in that
What are our
game.
predictions?
Manly 13 plus for me.
Really?
Yeah.
The great, look,
That's a hot take. I agree.
the great man, Dally Trevens, he has to step up. He's played 327 games. He's the most experienced player on the field. If he doesn't play well, I'm going to start making some outlandish claims.
Well, first off, you've already made those outlandish claims about him
the
multiple
listeners
times.
and watchers will
Maybe
have
not
to
in
be
the
tuning in for
podcast.
next week.
Look, I just look. You keep talking about Tommy. DCE is on like 1 point something million. He's the captain of the team. He also has to be at his best door.
I don't know where you've gotten this picture where he never plays well.
I didn't say it. I didn't say he never.
I
plays
feel like
well. I'm
he.
just
I know,
saying-
but I feel like you're implying in big games he doesn't tend to step up. I feel like he does.
Well, there's been a few Origin games.
I
lately
can
where he hasn't
understand
really
why
played well.
Mac is saying.
play well every
I
Origin game.
I just think DC has to step up and be one of the best. players on the
DCE
field.
has to
I
be
think he'll
really
be good.
Yeah.
He might have a couple of errors where you see and go, "Yep, he had a crap game." He'll have one like weird. What he always does, he like runs sideways and drops it.
It's the thing is like Turbo can be terrific, but if like that Tigers game showed, Turbo can be fucking spectacular.
The Dogs
and
are
they
a lot
can
better
still
than Tigers.
yeah, and they can still lose the game if
Who's-
these other players aren't coming. Like
They need
Garrick,
team
in my
effort.
opinion, he needs to step up. He's been woeful the last few weeks.
Is Crichton defending on that Garrick Saab edge?
Yeah, he is.
well,
He's left. Yeah, he will.
I mean, he's
Uh,
a good defender. I watched it. He
yeah.
had some suspicious defensive reads.
Well, I think every
last
center,
few games.
every
but
center does at some point.
Yeah,
It's
you're
hard
right.
to defend there.
I think that's the edge that cooks Garrick and Saab. They like to
yeah,
spread
well,
it early.
Subs
I
cooked
think
with
you're
the
right, Dill. I'm going
syndesmosis, so
Manly, not 13 plus. That is a hot take. I agree, but I'm
Yeah.
going Manly by 2.
Manly by 2. Macca, what do you think?
Manly by 4.
Just worried James is, but Dimmy's going to be watching this and he'll be very upset if his doggy brother goes against the Dogs.
Speaking of Dimmies.
I'll go doggies. I'll go doggies by 6, but yeah, I'm very worried about how they've been playing recently. I want to see more.
Well, they've
See more.
won. They've won their last 5 or 6 or something, haven't they?
No,
Not the Dogs.
Yeah.
No,
No.
they've lost
They've
back.
lost a few,
They've
haven't
lost back to back. I'm pretty sure
they?
the Dogs have. Yeah, it is not. That's why I said I was slightly concerned with the Dogs' form of late. I know like Burton was out last
Oh, yeah.
week.
Sorry.
and-
They'd won 5 in the trot before they versed
Yeah.
Manly.
yeah,
And then
One-
they
they've
lost.
lost twice.
The one
yeah.
thing
But
going,
last week, no Burton, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
the one thing going for the Dogs is they have those experienced Penrith boys who've been there before. So
and
maybe
it's
they-
at home.
yeah,
as
and it's
well.
at home. Maybe they won't be too
So
scared.
I
at the
want to
moment.
change my decision.
It's the
Oh, you can
doggies.
go ahead. I'm still saying Manly 13 plus. I'm very concerned.
Their
It's-
with
form
the
was so
Dogs.
good. They lost to Manly, yes.
It's a coin flip, really.
And
'cause
then
what
last week, Burton out,
what version of Manly rocks up? So it's a coin flip.
Well, you can let us know what your predictions are in
Good plug.
in the stories and whatnot.
Make sure to
as
like
well.
and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Quickly before I go on to a bit of other stuff, we'll summarize a bit how the fantasy comp, the all-out fantasy comp. Look, we finished season 2024 1072nd
not too bad.
overall,
Not
which
too bad at
is
all. Bad at
look,
all.
your personal team's probably a bit better than that, Mick.
Yeah, I got 850.
I think you managed your trades a bit better than we did. But
I just
look,
didn't have many injuries at the back end.
I'm very happy with 1072nd overall, considering how we started the season.
I said we'd finish like Chautauqua, and we did.
We did finish. I'm very happy with that. Look, we played 16 the last 2 weeks and managed to not really lose many ranks.
That's
at
a very
all.
good effort. I had a full team, and I only just beat us.
Yeah, so I'm very happy with
We
that.
were 30,000th, I think, around round 9 or 10.
Yeah,
It's a great effort.
Tell you what, my team came home with the wet sail as well. 4,000s. I'll take that.
Oh, that's
do.
special, brother.
So
Yeah,
you don't
no.
like-
Let's see who won the All Out League
Yes.
in 2000.
He'll be very excited. He's getting an all-out hat.
Yes, very special. We'll,
I think we did a post. Whoever wins our league gets an all-out hat, and 3 of the comments were like,
he actually
surely-
won.
surely
we
something
did.
more.
Something better.
We did plug him the other week, and this man Vincenzo's has gone on to win.
Congratulations, brother.
Yes, he actually won overall as well.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
so
won
it's
it.
it's the
Right.
same guy that won
Well, there you go.
NRL fantasy overall, won our comp
See,
as
well,
well.
I think he's getting some more than a hat then.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
I-
scored. Look at that score though, 1,028 points he
Jesus.
scored.
I think
on
he's
the
more
weekend.
excited for the hat than the 30K money.
Yeah,
Well,
who
Is it
needs
30K? I don't even think
No,
it's 30K.
it's not even that.
like
I think it's
5K.
like
Grand
you
final
get like
tickets.
a box or something like that for the
Bro,
grand
that is-
final. And
With all due respect to the NRL and NRL fantasy, that is a terrible price.
Supercoach is 50K.
oh look,
50K or grand final box.
yes,
50K, you can get a box.
Yeah, you can get a box, you can get a buddy
The other
watch. I don't know.
You can get plenty of things.
other
So,
things.
yes, congratulations to Vincenzo's. Not only did you win overall, you won the exclusive all-out club hat that you can see being displayed beautifully next to us here. Let's go to the tipping. Obviously, this is the tipping comp's not over just as of yet.
It's over for me after round 10. That's when I quit.
So, no, geez, why did you quit so early, brother?
No.
Look, we're sitting in 442nd, but the winner or the person who is leading at the moment is Wayne's Roosters. He is 142 tips with a margin of 413. So he is in
Solid.
with tipping. I think Corliss was saying it doesn't continue over a couple of weeks ago, but it does. So tipping goes all the way to grand final. So yeah, Wayne's Roosters is sitting in the best spot at the moment, and just like you were saying, Mick, with Supercoach. So that is the last piece that we have to touch on. Oh, geez, we didn't go too badly, or I didn't go too badly last week, but on Supercoach, congratulations to Unknown 98 Wazim. He won the
Bang.
all-out Supercoach comp.
Didn't even realize we had a Supercoach comp.
Yes, no, but look, let me cook here. 507 overall he finished.
It's very, very, very impressive. Considering how many people play Supercoach, that's great.
Look, I will touch on this in a second, but there's big things coming for All Out. You'll have to stay tuned. But one thing I can touch on is we will be definitely diving in a bit more to, while we will be always a fantasy
Putting
podcast,
our big toe in the water.
we're going to try and see if we can dive into Supercoach as well, because I know that we've had people reach out to us, oh, you should do Supercoach and whatnot as well. So
I feel we may get too popular. With all those people.
can we ever be too popular, brother?
True. With all those Supercoach nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I feel like talking about Supercoach at the moment, it's a bit sacrilegious, but
No.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm mostly.
Well,
a
we did
Supercoach
a
player, but-
comp. It was like, look, it was a last minute thing that the comp it came out like with a week, if not a few days before the actual season started. So look, we're just going to try and see. We just want to get as many of you guys that follow the page involved.
I saw the winner of Supercoach was best mates with Kyle Flanagan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's
wasn't in our
Interesting.
league.
He's the groomsman.
Yeah.
Disaster.
It's a bit suspicious somehow.
Yeah, strip him
Look,
of the title, please.
Maybe he, I hope he didn't pick Kyle Flanagan, because what a disaster poor old Kyle Flanagan was
Yeah.
this season.
Sorry, mate. I'm really not buying you.
Look, last things, I don't know if you boys want to touch on anything else. I've said so many times, thank you for all the support and everything like that. Feel free, if you do see us out like a couple of boys did, shout out to you guys that saw me at the
Door's
Broncos game
blushing.
last week. Feel free to come get a photo and tag us in it, and we'll share it up on the socials for you guys. But the last thing is, with the NRL fantasy season finishing, Supercoach season finishing, there is still, like I said, tipping still to go. But you can also join the Mixer Comp. The link is in our bio for that. You can join that. Same thing as what we've always been doing. You can win an all-out club hat for that as well. You just pick 3 guys, 3 girls. I actually cooked last week for us in the Mixer, apart from picking the wrong women's captain. But look, you can get involved with that, as well as the TBC Live as well with the predictions and stuff. We've given our predictions. We'll probably be on that as well for maybe 1 or 2 of the games on the weekend. You can give your predictions for that and go on the chance to win 2 grand final tickets as well. So
Yeah. Just before we close out the podcast, it's been a long one. Reminder, Normby grand final, $99 drinks and
mention us.
food package.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
It
Mention
really
us
is.
in the booking notes. I mean, all your beers, all your wine, a lot of food.
tag us as
Definitely,
well.
yeah,
on
definitely.
socials.
Definitely tag us.
But the key thing
Get
is, like you
involved.
said, Mick, mention us. Make sure you mention us on that book.
Yeah, you'll get beer merch and stuff
Yeah.
like that from the good people at Normanby.
Yeah. So anything else, boys, or bring on finals round 1?
Yeah, keen.
Ready? All right.
Let's get
That's
it.
good. See you next week.
Catch ya.
Bye.